Available for iOS and Android.
Now at 5, bird flu spreads to more poultry operations in southwest Missouri. Plus, we explain a proposal for a new career education center in Seneca, Missouri, and
businesses sound the alarm over a potential trade war with top U.S. trading partners. I'm Natalie Brand with President Trump's threat to impose tariffs and the latest talks underway.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The bird flu outbreak in Newton County, Missouri has grown, now impacting poultry operations with millions more birds. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Newton County had its first ever reported outbreak of bird flu just last month, and now 7 poultry farms in the county are dealing with outbreaks. 3 of those are chicken farms that provide eggs to brands like Eggland's Best and Land O'Lakes. Some are turkey farms that supply meat for Butterball. About 4 million chickens will be destroyed, along with about 44,000 turkeys. If one bird in a poultry farm is positive, the entire flock has to be destroyed. An administrator at Newton County Health Department says they suspect a flock of wild geese might have brought the bird flu to the area.
If some were to slip through and make it to the retail store before the virus was detected, proper cooking, 165 degrees for chicken, and then just cooking the eggs thorough would kill any virus.
He says cases of bird flu have now been detected in neighboring counties, including Jasper, McDonald, Lawrence, and Berry County. And so far, no person working closely with the birds has tested positive for bird flu. Voters in Seneca, Missouri will decide whether to approve a $9 million bond issue to support the Seneca School District. If approved, the funding would be used to build a new career education center on the high school campus, allowing more students to take part in the programs. The district also hopes to build a new storm shelter at the junior high. The school currently shelters in the basement, which has experienced flooding.
We need to stay current with our facilities, and we need to be able to, build towards the future and what we want to accomplish and what we want to see our kids do. So I think the facilities in the building, they are a tool for learning.
Voters will decide on the bond issue on April 8th. It would be a no tax increase bond, extending the current debt service levy of 85 cents. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be an amazing Monday for us today, our warmest day, of course, that we have seen in 2025 so far. We shot all the way up to 74 degrees. We at least tied our record, which was set way back in 1962. Now, of course, we are going to start to cool down as we go through the next couple days, but if you're going to get outside next couple hours, it's great. We're still hanging out near 70 degrees, but look at our northern counties starting to drop into lower 60s. A cold front is sliding in, so we're going to be a good 25 degrees colder by the time we head into Tuesday. But the evening hours overall looking pretty good. We're going to get some clouds increasing late. And we're not going to see much in the way of sunshine for us this week. So clouds thicken and we start to get some drizzle picking up late in the day on Tuesday. We're going to talk more about rain chances here in just a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. The Joplin and Carl Junction Fire Departments are sounding the alarm over a recent spike in fires in vacant buildings. That increase corresponds with the winter months. They say illegally occupied properties pose serious risks, including potential fires, also carbon monoxide poisoning. And they urge people to report any suspicious activity in vacant structures.
What happens is they're really susceptible to fires from people getting in them, making warming fires, or just causing fires in them, and with no one living there, they get advanced fairly well before we ever get a call on them.
The deputy chief in Joplin says police are working with homeowners to get no trespassing signs on their buildings. Authorities today recovered more wreckage of that American Airlines flight out of Wichita that crashed with a helicopter over the Potomac River last week. NTSB investigators say black box data indicates the airliner was flying at around 325 feet ahead of the collision. That's well higher than the 200 feet set by the FAA for helicopter traffic in that area. Investigators are working to understand if the air traffic controller's screens were providing the helicopter's actual altitude leading up to the collision. Less than a day before President Trump's new tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China were set to take effect, President Trump says he's reached a deal to pause tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Natalie Brand has the latest now from the White House.
President Trump says the 25% tariff on imports from Mexico that was supposed to go into effect at midnight is on hold for a month while the two nations negotiate.
We haven't agreed on tariffs yet, and maybe we will, maybe we won't.
His administration's planned tariffs on both Mexico and Canada would have impacted everyone from automakers to home builders, farmers, and restaurants. But Mexico has agreed to beef up security at the border, pausing that tariff.
10,000 soldiers at their side of the border and stop fentanyl and illegal aliens from coming into our country. They have a big incentive to do.
Canada has vowed 25% retaliatory tariffs. President Trump said he's planning to talk to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau again this afternoon.
We didn't ask for this, but we will not back down.
And Trump said he'll also be speaking with China in the next 48 hours as goods from that country face an extra 10% levy.
The Trump administration is also taking aim at the U.S. Agency for International Development, which distributes billions of dollars in humanitarian aid and foreign assistance.
Sources tell CBS News USAID will be merged into the State Department with significant cuts in the workforce. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told reporters he's now the agency's acting administrator.
In many cases, USAID is involved in programs that run counter to what we're trying to do in our national strategy with that country or with that region. That cannot continue. USAID is not an independent, non-governmental entity.
Dave Hardin is a former USAID official.
This is an assault on the rule of law and the Constitution and the separation of powers between the legislative and the executive branch.
Democratic lawmakers say any changes to the agency must be approved by Congress. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Again, the White House announced late today that the tariffs on goods from Canada, like those from Mexico, would be put on hold for 30 days. The potential tariffs could impact your family budget. We're going to look at how a little bit later.
Inflation could be on the rise if tariffs on certain imports go into effect. I'm Kelly O'Grady with a look at what items may cost more.
But first, a warning for parents about a product that might look harmless but could pose a threat to our kids. What you should know about water beads coming up in Health Watch.
Attention homeowners, Royal Home Improvement started.
Topping today's Health Watch, a new study debunks one theory on what causes autism. Researchers at NYU Langone Health say a mother being sick during pregnancy does not increase the child's risk of autism. They say the factors that are linked to autism in children are genetics, exposure to pollution, and access to health care. Children giving ultra-processed foods at a young age, they're much more likely to become obese. A study in Canada looked at the impact of ultra-processed foods, which typically are packaged foods with a long shelf life, like cookies, chips, cereal, and cakes. They found many children eating ultra-processed foods at age 3 were already obese by age 5. They might look harmless and fun, but the authors of a new report are calling for a ban on the sale of water beads. The beads, which can expand, are sold as toys, and they can be dangerous for children if ingested. Danya Bacchus has the story of a mother whose daughter was seriously injured by the beads.
The Haugen family's mission is to educate parents about the dangers of water beads. When Ashley's daughter Kipley was a toddler, she developed a rash and was throwing up. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong. Turns out she had ingested the small water-absorbing beads her older sister was playing with.
During surgery, they found the water beads had caused a blockage inside of her small intestine. Because the water beads were marketed as non-toxic, eco-friendly, and biodegradable, everybody thought that she would be fine.
But in the weeks that followed, Kipley began having trouble with coordination and responding to commands. Doctors confirmed she was experiencing developmental delays.
And also, he gave her a diagnosis of toxic brain encephalopathy.
Water beads are made of polyacrylamide, and acrylamide is a known neurotoxin. Our consumer products and the chemicals used to make them are not well regulated.
The beads can expand to 100 times their size when exposed to water. More than 7,800 ingestion injuries were treated in U.S. emergency departments from 2016 to 2022. A 10-month-old died in 2023. Kipley's case has just been published in Pediatrics. Ashley is one of the first parent advocates to co-author a case report in the journal.
It breaks my heart what happened to Kipley, and for me it's been very healing to be able to know that that pain has a purpose.
Ashley started That Water Bead Lady to help families whose children have been injured by consumer products. Kipley has this message for lawmakers.
Please work together to ban water beads. Lots of kids like me got hurt.
Kipley has made a lot of progress. She still has challenges, but she is an amazing little advocate.
Working together to keep kids safe. Danya Backus, CBS News.
The authors are also calling for warning labels about ingestion on all products containing water beads. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the prospects for bald eagles looking up.
And we have some water heading toward us over the next few days and also cooling down. Details coming up.
Nominate your Ford State here
and only at High Winds.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a great Monday for us today. Temperatures mid-70s, 4 highs in the beginning of February. We at least tied a record high for us today. Great shots, still great evening. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. We will start to get some clouds increasing a little bit later on tonight, but temperatures still look pretty good. We're going to drop off quickly as we go through the evening hours as a cold front has been shifting through, but still, it's really nice outside. Can't see our northern counties a little bit cooler, so you got Iola at 62, and then on the other end, you got Jay sitting at 76 degrees, and there is quite a bit more colder air. Look at Des Moines 37, Kansas City 52, so we're going to go back down to reality after we've had really nice weather really this past weekend and today. Few little clouds out there, but in general, we look pretty good. We do have a series of weak waves, which are going to be heading toward us really all week long. Here's our jet stream. It's really from west to east. That means we don't have any big storm systems, but we have enough that it's going to inconvenience you as we go through the work week. So let's go ahead and walk through time. For us tonight, just kind of cooling down. We get some clouds in here late tonight and into the morning hours. Temperatures, mid-30s to lower 40s in our southern counties. As we go through the day, the clouds stick around. It's kind of breezy. By the noon hour, we'll start to get a little bit of light drizzle popping up across the region and a few random light little showers. So just kind of a gloomy day. Temperature is about 25 degrees colder than what we saw today. Drizzle continues tomorrow evening. Here's 8:30 p.m. Let's continue through the overnight hours. Now we start to get into light showers, especially after midnight and into Wednesday morning. So we'll have periods of light showers. So now we're starting Wednesday, 6:30 in the morning. You can actually see a little pink in our far northern counties, a little bit of a wintry mix, but most of us are going to stay on the liquid side. Showers continue even into Wednesday afternoon, but very light, but temperatures will warm back up a bit on Wednesday. How much rain are we going to get? Not much, just enough to kind of be an inconvenience, maybe a tenth, maybe 2/10 of an inch, and that is really just about it. Maybe some areas 1/4 of an inch. All right, 39 in the morning, 45 by noon. High temp back down where we should be for this time of the year. High temps right around 50 degrees, and we still have additional rain chances even later this week. So let's go into Friday. Scattered showers, temperatures kind of up and down all week long. Showers sticking around even on Saturday. Then we get a break. Let's go into Super Bowl Sunday. So if you're going to some regional parties, we are going to have clouds. It's going to be cold. We'll be in the upper 30s, but we should be dry. Then it gets interesting again. We get back into an active pattern. Here's next Monday and Tuesday, rain and snow chances. Next Wednesday, rain and snow chances again. So we have a lot to watch as we go through the next 7 to 10 days. 50 on your Tuesday, back to 62 Wednesday, back down to 54 Thursday, 50 on Friday. Some scattered showers sometime during the day, each and every day, just not rain out situations. 42 Super Bowl Sunday, and then we'll watch that next system next Tuesday and Wednesday. But man, what a beautiful day.
You can't complain about these temps, even as it gets cooler in the days ahead, looking pretty nice.
Not too bad.
Thanks, Doug. America's national bird, the bald eagle, is having a moment, not just here in the 4 states, but all around much of the nation. Once on the brink of extinction, the population has climbed to an estimated 316,700 individual bald eagles. This month, New Jersey became the latest state to delist the bald eagle as endangered. Conservation groups and zoos have worked hard on the rebirth, including many successful rescues like of this bird named Freedom at the zoo in northern New Jersey.
So Freedom is a rescued bald eagle. All bald eagles in zoos are rescues, and he has a really cool story because it was actually a military, a veteran who was a sharpshooter in the military who was able to shoot through the rope and free Freedom. So yeah, he has a really cool story.
In December, President Biden signed legislation making the bald eagle the national bird. Coming up, if we see tariffs on imports, what products could be impacted most? We're going to hear from some experts just ahead in Consumer Watch.
Participate in our winter savings
and put the best to work for you.
Topping today's Consumer Watch, we told you the Trump administration's decision to place tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico is on hold for 30 days after the president reached agreements with both countries. But if those tariffs end up going through next month and the one against China stays in place, well, it could have major ramifications on prices. Kelly O'Grady reports.
A trip to the grocery store could get more expensive. Canada is the #1 foreign supplier of beef and poultry to the U.S. With importers facing a 25% tariff, economists predict many stores will be forced to increase prices in the coming weeks, depending on inventory and sourcing. The tariffs on Mexican imports are on hold, but if they're eventually imposed, it could affect prices for fruit, vegetables, and other goods. Yessi Noyola's shop near Dallas sells imported candy from Mexico.
Suppliers will have to raise their prices, which in turn will cause retail locations like myself to raise our prices.
The tariff on Chinese goods could impact almost every U.S. industry, according to supply chain expert Patrick Penfield.
We import a lot of base ingredients from China that's used in a lot of various industries. So you're talking pharmaceutical, you're talking the toy industry, you're talking electronics. So almost every industry in the United States would be impacted.
That would include the automobile industry.
How many of these cars are we going to see an increase on?
Well, you're going to see it on that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one.
We recently spoke with New Jersey car dealership owner Tom Maioli.
It's not just the vehicles, it's the parts that go in the vehicles. And those parts come from all over the world. And as those tariffs come in, depending on where those parts come from, it's going to impact every vehicle, SUVs, cars, hybrids.
And the gas that powers those cars could also cost more. The U.S. imports oil from Canada. Analysts say a tariff could lead to higher prices at the pump in a couple of months. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.
Final check of the forecast next.
We're proud to salute Robert Grummett, a 4-state hero.
Up next on the CBS Evening News, we're going to meet the volunteer force many believe Los Angeles is going to need to rebuild from the wildfires. Then on KOAM News at 6, after a convicted killer is released early, an Oklahoma lawmaker pushes to make sure other victims' families don't experience the same pain. Plus, the return of the Sunshine Lamp Trolley service in Joplin. And Pitt State football picks up a commit from Southeast Kansas. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6.
Chiefs! Go, fight, win!
Yeah, that's the spirit. Chiefs supporters are wearing red and cheering on the good guys in anticipation of another Super Bowl win. This little pep rally of sorts was by residents of the Presbyterian Village Senior Living Facility in Fort Scott, Kansas this afternoon. The residents clapped, sang, and chanted in unison to cheer on their favorite team.
Really, because we have such a huge fan base here for Kansas City Chiefs, it's entertaining for them. They really get hyped up, especially when this year could be a three-peat for us. So we did this last year as well because they had won the year before. So this is something that they all really enjoy and really want to get involved in.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? These senior Chiefs fans know how rare this opportunity is. Fans waited 50 years between Super Bowl appearances before Chiefs finally returned for Super Bowl 54 a few years ago. So more recent fans might be a bit spoiled.
Yeah, kids nowadays, they're like, oh, this all the time. We go all the time.
The weather.
Looks pretty good. We are going to cool down tomorrow. We are going to have clouds and some drizzle developing, but still the evening right now looking pretty good.
CBS Evening News is next. We'll see you right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.